So, who caught that? Did anyone? Because it's rather apparent that there are some women out there that don't even seem to realize what actually constitutes chivalrous or even gentlemanly behavior for that matter. Because if they did, they would have probably realized that those gentlemen are actually sitting with their backs to the wall and their fronts are facing the door. What's the relevance of that, some of you were asking? Well, that means that those gentlemen would be able to see any possible danger that would be approaching from behind the woman, and they would be able to act upon it should the case arise. So, those gentlemen are doing exactly what they should be doing if we're talking about acting in a gentlemanly manner towards a lady. They're not sitting there for their comfort. They're sitting there because that is the actual gentlemanly thing that they should be doing.
The men that think it's the biggest flex to be like, I don't chase a woman.
Take a wild guess on what they're about to say next.
Ew, are you gay? Did you just find out that you're newly gay?
It's really quite amazing, actually, how many women are just straight up coming out there and saying that they're homophobic. Not only that, but they're rather implying that there's something inherently wrong with a person who does happen to be gay. Yeah, that's really not a good look. But you know what else also isn't a very good look? Desperation. Because that's certainly the impression that takes like these are giving, that someone, or anyone, would have to be so desperate to actually get someone to pursue them that they're going to resort to shaming tactics in order to get them to do so. If they're not interested, they're not interested. And trying to tell them that they're gay in order to try to get them to change their behavior is not going to make them interested. If anything, it's certainly going to put them off even more.
I don't care how good the information is, I will scroll every time I see a cis white man trying to give me information. And I love that for me.
Now, this might be my age talking a little bit, but I can very distinctly remember a time when it was considered a bad thing to be prejudiced against a group of people, especially for characteristics that they have no control over. But social media and the internet have really changed a lot of things, haven't they? I mean, think about it. As long as that demographic of people fits into certain categories, checks all the right boxes, as it were, then it's perfectly acceptable to put your bigotry on full display. And people will not only praise you for it, they will actually applaud you for your forward thinking, because in their minds you can't discriminate against a certain group of people, so it's perfectly acceptable to be as prejudiced as a person wants to be. Not only that, but actually be proud of the fact that they're ignoring any information that comes from someone purely based on their skin color and the gender in which they happen to have. What a time to be alive.
Okay, so women are emotional ones.
Oh, goody. Where is this going?
Help me out. How come 90% of violent crimes are committed by men and 90% of all homicide offenders are men?
Oh, I think I see the problem here. It's an inability to understand two subjects, math and statistics. But to be fair, those two things do stump a lot of individuals. Because while 90% of those crimes are in fact committed by men, it is not 90% of the men that are committing those crimes. They're also not taking into consideration the fact that a lot of those crimes are committed by repeat offenders.
Do you have periods every month where you are overcome by this sudden rush of hormones? No?
Oh dear, they're really trying to compare a rush of hormones to someone having some very serious behavioral, not to mention probably some serious mental health problems as well. Oh dear, I think we just stepped back in time.
Math ain't mathing. Why so emotional, bro? How come you're losing at your own game?
Yeah, as I said earlier, the math isn't mathing, most likely because there's a lot of individuals out there that simply don't know how to do math. But I find it interesting that that entire video was nothing but an emotional response.
I'm actually gonna crash out because why the did I just see a man post on Instagram 33 minutes ago and he has 100 likes?
Okay, and that is a problem somehow because why?
And he's not famous.
Sounds like jealousy. This might come as a complete shock, but a person doesn't have to be famous in order to post content that people actually like. That's the key part.
I swear to God, if men don't get off social media, I'm gonna make the cartel putting hits on ice look like beginner.
Ew. That just really goes to show that jealousy really is not a good look. And it can absolutely bring out the worst traits in some individuals, as we have just seen. Because not only was that an attempt at, I hope, a joke, not only in very poor taste, but that wasn't even remotely funny.
Jealousy is not a good look, but unfortunately, it's what most modern women have. Jealous. They can't fathom that somebody would usurp them. That a man, out of all people, it's one thing if it's a woman, because we're all bad bees. But the fact that a man could be so good. A man, he could get attention. How dare him?
A lot of men these days are jealous of women.
No, they're not. But I'm sure that someone is going to try to make a case for why they are.
Because they feel insecure and they don't feel like they have a use or a purpose anymore.
That's why they're jealous of women, because most men feel that way? Apparently they don't talk to a lot of men.
Because we can surpass them in the workplace. The one thing they had to impress us.
Really? Someone thinks that's what impresses women? Apparently they don't know much about women either.
And what do they really have anymore? Well, they could have ways to impress us, but instead of doing that, they're insecure and jealous because we're really the impressive ones.
If anyone was ever curious what a circular argument sounds like, you just heard one.
Women can have it all. Men could never have it all.
What exactly do they mean by it all?
Maybe that's why they suppressed us and our rights for so long, because they knew this, that we are the most powerful gender.
Powerful. I guess they're forgetting that whole strength advantage that guys have.
We can literally create life with our bodies.
No, you can't. And I'm sorry, ladies, to break this to you, but if you're amongst those who actually think that women create life all by themselves without the contribution of a man, then you are severely underinformed in biology.
The men who see that, the men who understand that, are gonna be those that end up with women because they know how to treat us and respect us like we deserve.
And how exactly do women deserve to be treated? Because there's a lot of them out there that seem to think they should be treated as better than men. I hope they don't call themselves feminists.
But those who can't see that or don't want to see that are going to remain single and die alone with their video games.
I think a lot of men would prefer to be single as opposed to being with someone who has an entitled attitude.
I think the scales will rebalance. It might take a crazy, insane event for men to wake up and step up again and learn that they can step up. And I think the ones who just stay insecure and jealous are removing themselves from the gene pool so their generational trauma doesn't repeat itself. What are your thoughts? Let's chat about it in the comments.
I think a lot of individuals put too much weight on being in a relationship. Being in a relationship doesn't make a person better than anyone else. Because quite frankly, there are a lot of us that would rather be single than with the wrong person.
As a man, why are you complaining?
I can think of multiple very valid reasons why gentlemen would have a reason to complain about something.
If you are complaining to me, I'm gonna get the immediate ick.
Oh no, not that. I can only imagine the number of gentlemen that are going to be absolutely heartbroken.
Because that's a woman's job.
To complain? Can that really be what they meant?
A woman's job is to complain while you fix.
Oh, okay, that was what they meant. Yeah, let's hear it for gender stereotypes, everyone.
Do not get on my phone, start texting me and complaining about your day.
Oh, heaven forbid a guy actually take a moment to vent about his day. How awful. Yet, ironically, these will be some of the same types of women that insist that the guys listen to all of their problems.
I don't care. Solve it. You're a man.
Well, here's a problem that we can solve right now. Gentlemen, if you run into a woman that treats you like that, run the other direction.
Can men just not exist?
No, that would actually be the end of the species. It would actually be rather refreshing, though, to see some women out there that aren't offended by everything male.
They literally ruin everything. I'm so sick of them. I'm sick of going out into society and you guys are there.
Well, here's an idea. Stay home.
It gets to a point, like, I'm so sick of seeing them. Everywhere I turn, there's a man. Oh my god, you guys ruin every freaking experience.
Yeah, they already complained about that already. I wonder, however, if there's a point that they're going to be getting to.
It's to the point where I don't even want to go anywhere. It's like I just go to work and go home because it's like everywhere I go, you are going to be there. Men, I'm so sick of it. Like, you guys ruin every experience. I just can't. Like, I'm so tired. Everywhere I go, it's just annoying. You guys don't know boundaries. You guys don't know how to stay in your lane. Always interjecting yourself. Always speaking too much. Like, can y'all just not talk?
Well, instead of complaining about it constantly, why doesn't someone do something about it? Create an all-female community where all of you that feel the same way can go live together, support each other, and try to find something else to complain about.
Well, they wouldn't be able to. They can't do that because they're not good at the things that men are good at. They just aren't. They would hire the men to do it. They would kiki and laugh, and everything would run smoothly for maybe, I don't know, a month or two, and then it would be down in the dumps because they suck at it. It'd be one thing, because some of these women out here actually know how to build things. Some of these women actually know how to work on cars. They actually are competent and they know how to do things. But for these modern women, they know nothing of the sort. I'm not even 100% sure that the women that are competent would even be in a society like that. I'm not sure that they would go. They would see the error and the flaws. Maybe I'll come over here out of something. I just want to see what it is. I'm just curious. But then after a while, no, I'm going back to the real world, flaws and all. I'm going back to where it makes sense. Because at some point in time, even their brain would get tired. Well, what do you mean? You think about the Queen Maker, Princella, when she was talking about men this, men that, they're trash. But then started to date women and found out, oh, shoot, maybe there is something to what men are saying. And countless women have gone through these same experiences and found out, oh, well, shoot, it's not as easy as I thought it was getting along with women. They're actually pretty difficult sometimes. They can be very difficult. Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you. These modern women are taking advantage. They're trying to get over on men. They don't actually like the man. That's why men are refusing to do, quite literally, well, you could at least open a door. No. Well, you could at least pay for it. No. Well, you could at least help me with my stuff up there. No. You don't think that you're kind of taking it overboard and you're kind of being super rude? I know I am. But I don't owe you anything. I've already given you too much. I've given you too much. And it's indicative by your entitlement. By you talking about why are men here? Every time I turn around, it's a man. Well, yeah, I mean, men are part of the population, so that goes without saying.
There's no such thing as a woman having high standards.
Sure about that? Because I have certainly seen some women out there indicate what their standards happen to be, and in my opinion, they fall into the category of unrealistic expectations.
It's men who have high entitlements and low effort.
Of course. Of course it's the men's fault. After all, why wouldn't it be? And sadly, there's a lot of women that will continue to think this way, because it hasn't occurred to a lot of those women why some men simply don't want to be in relationships with them. The women think that it's because their standards are so high that the men simply don't measure up, and they know this, or they're too lazy to try to meet those standards. When in fact, it's the men who have high standards for themselves in regards to who they choose to be in a relationship with. And a lot of women out there simply don't measure up. Because let's be very clear, having standards in a relationship is healthy. But a lot of women don't like it when they don't measure up to a man's standards. So it's just easier to call him entitled.
Guys want to be so bad nowadays, like it's insane.
Oh, really? And how are we going to decide to try to degrade men today?
Like it's insane. Instead of the guy holding the door for me, I had to open the door for him and he didn't say thank you.
Oh no. So a woman got treated in the same way that a lot of men do when they hold the door open for an ungrateful woman. It's like some of them don't like equality when they get a good taste of it.
Like, it blows my mind how guys want to be so bad.
What's really mind-blowing is that there are still actually some women out there that really do believe that simply by virtue of the fact that they happen to be women are actually entitled to not only special treatment, but also special privileges that should be afforded to them by, well, all men. But yet, they would be the very first ones to complain that they're not being treated as equals, but yet they still want special treatment. Can't really have it both ways.
Not trying to pay $150 on a first date.
$150 on a first date. I mean, who can blame them? Who would want to pay that much money just to get to know somebody? Which, I might add, is the entire purpose of a first date.
$150 is honestly like an average cheaper price of going to eat out for two people nowadays.
Average cheaper price. Where exactly are some of these individuals eating? That's not cheap. That's exorbitant.
If you can't afford that, maybe you shouldn't be dating.
If you're a woman and happen to agree with that particular sentiment, that $150 isn't all that much for a guy to spend on a first date, and you're one of those that actually expects a guy to spend a minimum of that much, then I'm just going to say it. You're not interested in getting to know the guy or starting a relationship. You're simply interested in the perks that you're getting for having someone pay for your meal or your activities. I wonder how many names I'm going to get called for that one.
If you are a woman who proposes to her bitch-ass boyfriend, you are part of the problem.
Okay, what is the problem?
You are contributing, perpetuating, and validating the men these days that want princess treatment.
Princess treatment? Oh goodness, another person using buzzwords that they don't know exactly what they mean. But no, men wanting to be appreciated and valued in a relationship is not princess treatment. That's actually part of equality.
I will even take this a step further and say if you are so tired of waiting to be proposed to that you feel like you have to, I think you should get rid of your ass boyfriend.
Maybe. Instead of calling those guys names, maybe a person could take a moment to realize the inner strength that those women possess to step outside of the gender norm box when they realized they wanted to get married, and so they just decided to propose. It's really not that difficult to understand.
Because your bitch-ass boyfriend obviously does not want to be your husband. I know that's harsh. I know that's even slightly mean. Sometimes what we don't want to hear is what we exactly need to hear.
Indeed. Like how it's rather infantile behavior to try to shame women for actually taking steps forward to do something that might make them happy in life. Yeah, we should probably stop doing that.
Stop proposing to men. Now!
Ironically, this just seems to be another case of someone only supporting gender roles when it suits their purpose. I'm sorry, but maybe I'm missing something. Why exactly is chivalry dead? I don't see two damsels in distress that are in dire need of a big, strong man to come get them out of a situation that they have no hope of escaping. Or am I wrong? Because it seems that in this case, no matter what the men would do, they're going to be wrong anyway. They're wrong if they don't help two fully capable women with their vehicles, but I also have a feeling that those men would be in the wrong if they actually came over to help those women. Because what exactly are they wanting? A man to overlook the situation and tell them that they did a good job? Because then he might be accused of mansplaining, or even worse, of harassing two perfectly strong, capable women. But yeah, I don't think that chivalry is dead. I think that some women are finally able to take care of themselves, and they don't like it.
Can I just talk about how, on average, I'm opening the door for men more than they open the door for me?
Apparently, that's a problem. Otherwise, we wouldn't be hearing about it.
I knew that chivalry was dead, but, I didn't know it was dead. I didn't know it was like this.
Like what? Being treated as an equal instead of a delicate, helpless woman that can't do anything for herself?
I don't mind being kind to men, opening the door for them, yeah. But it's just a little off-putting when it's 3 out of 5 times I'm opening the door for a man, and he's just going right through.
Well, a lot of women do that to men. They go right through the door and don't even say thank you. But yet somehow women are offended when they're treated in the same way.
You feel like a man after that? Me personally, I wouldn't feel like a man after that. I'd feel like a...
It's rather ironic that when some women want to try to insult men, they usually end up referring to them by a term that was normally used to try to insult women, insinuating that they are feminine. Anyone else see the irony there?
And do you have any respect for yourselves? You guys, on average, guys, I'm really out here opening doors for men more than they're opening for me. We're talking about grown-ass men. We're talking about grown men, weird men, okay? Me, little lady, opening the door for you 3 to 5 times is kind of weird.
Interesting. And that goes right along with a little trend that I've been noticing, that some women really despise gender roles, except when it comes to men. They think that men apparently should stay in certain gender roles, but that it doesn't apply to women. Except, of course, when it benefits them.
Not all men. Yeah, to you. To us, it is all men, because it has to be.
Who exactly is us? They're obviously not including those who think logically and rationally in this conversation.
We have no choice. How are we supposed to know which men are safe? There are enough men that are misogynistic and dangerous for us to have to be cautious with every single one of them.
So naturally, a person would assume the worst of every individual in an entire population.
Men are always comparing women to objects, so it's my turn.
Oh, good. So instead of taking the high road and doing better than those individuals that someone is criticizing, someone is going to be not only just as bad, but in fact worse, because someone should know better.
Imagine we have a big bowl of gummies. A large amount of them have poison and will make you very sick, and some of them will even kill you. I'm not going to trust any of those gummies until they are proven to be safe.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is actually how some individuals justify bigotry.
I'm not just talking about the men that essay and abuse. Even the men who are just a little misogynistic are unsafe to me. If a man perceives women as less than equal in any way, there's a possibility that he will treat me as less than equal. Good men are the ones who do think about it, because good people care about other people.
You know what else good people do? They actually understand that each person is an individual, not part of a monolithic group that acts of one mind. And moreover, they don't believe that an individual should be held responsible for the actions of others.
So if you're a man, misogynistic men are more likely to listen to you because they don't like women. They don't want to listen to us.
Well, if that were true, then misandrists would listen to other women when those women tell them how wrong they're being by hating an entire population of people. But usually, those misandrists just call those other women names.
If you want to be a good person, listen, learn, admit your faults, and then grow and change.
It's almost like a lot of those individuals out there who give advice on how to be a good person should actually take their own advice once in a while.
It's enough men. They don't even hear themselves. And they don't care about statistics. They don't care about what's actually true. It's enough men. It's literally not. It's literally not. Not only is it a small majority, it's the vast majority of men that are not going to do anything to you. It's the vast majority of men that are not going to essay you. The vast majority. I don't know why y'all keep on thinking, sitting there. I don't know why y'all keep on, well, and here's what they do. Move the goalpost. Well, they might not essay you, but they're misogynistic. Like how? Well, not misogynistic in the traditional sense, but misogynistic in the new wave of, they have symptoms of misogyny. So it keeps on going and going, like the Energizer bunny of stupidity, of modern women. They just keep on going until they find something that sticks. And it don't even stick to the people that's supposed to. Well, the men do this and the men do that. No. The men that you're talking about are trash men that we told you to stay away from. You're talking about those guys. The good men, I didn't even know what happened. I was inside. You tell me you didn't hear. No, I didn't know because I was inside minding my business. What it sounds like is y'all were out there getting yourself into trouble and a man wasn't out there to bail you out. It sounds like you walked into something and thought that a man was just going to, out of nowhere, just be ready to defend your honor and swing on somebody and possibly get themselves hurt because you couldn't listen. Because maybe the men in your life, maybe your dad, maybe your brother said, hey, be careful out there. Hey, don't do this. Hey, watch out for that. And y'all didn't want to listen. So no, it's not all men. It's the men that you're coming into contact with. And men already know this guy's no good. But you don't care because you're fun. You're one for entertainment is what comes first to you.
Oh dear. Did someone feel a bit called out? Was someone's belief systems and possibly even their own actions called into question in that last post? But more importantly, do they not teach the definition of words in school? Or possibly dictionaries aren't available where someone is from? Or, as is most likely the case, did someone just brain dump that information when it no longer suited their purpose? The latter is most likely the case. Because if someone actually did truly understand the definition of bigotry, then they would understand that men can absolutely experience bigotry for being men, even in a patriarchal society. And it's even more obvious that someone really felt that video hit rather close to home, because saying that hating men and comparing it to racism is disrespectful really makes me wonder, what types of hate does a person consider to be acceptable? Because obviously, someone thinks that hating a group of people based on a characteristic that they cannot control is acceptable, only so long as it's against the right group of people. Because let's be very clear, racism and misandry, which is the hatred of men, do share that in common. They both hate people for a characteristic that they have no control over. One being is how they were born, and the other is the color of their skin. So I really look forward to hearing the answer, dear commenter. What type of hatred do you consider to be acceptable?
Men are weaker than women, and that's just is what it is, and women know this, but for some reason, men are having a hard time catching on.
Oh, really?
You guys are weak, you guys are lame, you guys are dumb, literally, don't use your brain.
I wonder if they're gonna say anything of value.
The reason why it takes like 5-10 men to sit there and destroy a woman and make her become a cold heartless, and it only takes men 1 woman.
Is anyone else still waiting for them to get to the point?
Men are weak. Y'all was not supposed to be the rulers of society. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
And some women continue to prove why they shouldn't be in charge of, well, anything.
I believe y'all are supposed to be here with the babies, with the kids, cooking, cleaning, and I believe women are supposed to be out there in the fields. Is that what I believe? And then also, if we look historically, that is accurate. It's accurate, bro. That's accurate.
Which history book did that come out of?
I hate y'all.
Thanks for stating the obvious.
Honestly, I'm gonna keep it real with you women. This is our fault. This is our fault. Because we sit there and baby the out of them. And then turn around and complain about them.
Maybe it has something a bit more to do with the irrational thought processes that some women display.
Like, what are you complaining about, baby? You're the one sitting there being all soft, feminine energy, all that other, like, that they made up.
Well, there are some women out there that will never be mistaken for being feminine.
Stop approaching women you know you cannot afford. You already see the woman's lifestyle. You see how she living.
So if she's already living that lifestyle all on her own, what exactly is the issue?
You know you can't afford it. Now when she asks you for money to upkeep the lifestyle that she's already living.
Wait. What exactly are these women in these scenarios doing? Why would they be asking men for money in the first place? I thought these women were strong and independent and could do things all on their own. And obviously they've been maintaining their lifestyles beforehand. But yet they would ask men for money while they're dating. That's rather giving the impression that some women aren't as strong and independent as they want everyone else to think that they are. It's either that or they just view men as walking ATMs. So which one is it?
You want to get an attitude. Go be with your type. She's not your type.
Right. They should be with their type, shouldn't they? The type of women that actually want a relationship and don't view men as just a means to an end. Well, I don't think I've seen a better example of a slap in the face to all those individuals that worked for years for women to be seen as equals to men in modern society. I mean, that almost takes the cake, really. Ironically, that very statement is the same one that was used and is still used today in many parts of the world to justify not treating women as equals to men, because there's biological differences. I think most of us are very much aware that there are biological differences between women and men. But what exactly is the overall goal here in regards to making a statement as that? Do some women not want to be treated as equals to men? What's the purpose of making that statement? Because it seems that a lot of women out there seem to want to not be treated as equals to men, but they in fact want to be treated as better than men. They want all of the rights, but none of the responsibilities, which is really sad. But again, I'm just going to say that that initial statement was just a slap in the face to all of those people that worked so hard for years to get women to be seen as equals.
I don't feel sorry that you're broke.
And I don't feel sorry for the willfully uninformed. So where does that leave us?
You're broke because you choose to be broke.
Tell that to the thousands, if not millions of people that are actually unable to work and see how that goes.
In this life, we get what we settle for. If you're not making the money that you want to make, it's your fault.
Wow.
So you can either keep complaining that you're barely making any money, that you hate your boss, you hate your life, or you can do something about it. Don't complain to me because I don't feel sorry for you.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is an example of an elitist mentality who does not understand that there are some people out there that actually physically cannot go to work. There are no jobs in the areas in which they live, or they're unable to move. But they tend to conceal information like that in books.
My version of feminism is
And what version of feminism is that?
actually the men pay for everything and I make my own money and I keep it all.
See, real feminism is actually about equality. I don't see anything equal in that arrangement.
I support women working and going to school and having rights to vote.
Oh, well, there we go. Someone actually got part of it right.
Women are meant to be treated like gods.
Well, that statement has absolutely nothing to do with anything in regards to feminism.
And I know that you probably don't have the money for it, but lots of men do this.
Yeah, and there's one of those born every minute.
Because lots of men make enough money to pay the bills and let the woman keep her money. That is true feminism.
It's always entertaining to watch someone talk about a subject that they obviously know nothing about.
And I also don't think women should live with men. That is another layer of this. There is no reason for women to live with a man.
Oh? Now, why is that?
Unless he's paying for everything.
Oh, so basically then the woman would be absolutely 100% completely and totally dependent on the man for everything. Yes, how very feminist-minded.
And because women have the right to live alone now, that is also very feminist.
Oh, good grief.
I know it's really confusing, but we'll get there step by step.
Probably about the same time when someone learns what feminism actually means.
Well, it's not that confusing. Most men already know what you guys are up to. You guys are children. Unfortunately, that's what you're acting like. Daddy, daddy, please give me some money. Please give me some money for candy, daddy, daddy. And then in a few years, you're going to be upset, complaining about how the man manipulated you. He took your autonomy. He took you away from your family. When really, honestly, it was you. You did that. You didn't want to learn a skill. You didn't want to work. You thought, well, you know, if he's making the money, he's got it. I'm not going to do anything. And not only did you say, I'm not going to do anything, when you said, I'm not going to do anything, you actually meant, I'm not going to do anything. He's going to work. He's going to be the only person in this house that actually does something on a consistent basis. That's it. I'm not going to cook no dinner. I'm not going to clean no floors. I'm not going to go out and get no groceries. He's going to do all of that. And all of a sudden, 10 years down the road, when he's saying, you know what, I think I want a divorce. Wow, that really came out of nowhere. What am I going to do now? Wow, he really left me high and dry.
It's a good day to stop giving about all the things that keep.
Yes, misandry levels are rising. But what I've noticed is that there are select individuals out there who apparently choose to either live with their heads permanently lodged in a particular orifice or possibly in the sand, are not realizing that increased levels of misandry create increased levels of misogyny. And let's be very clear, misandry is a form of bigotry. And why anyone would be proud of being bigoted against an entire demographic of people, I have no idea. But yet we have reached that point in time when there are individuals out there that are very proud about hating someone for a characteristic about themselves that they cannot control. So yes, it's time to celebrate the times that we live in, because the internet has made bigots very much out there for everyone to see and to truly enjoy watching.
You know what's wrong with this picture?
And what is wrong with that picture? Well,
They're all white.
and what exactly is wrong with that? I really want to know. Because even they said that it was probably unintentionally drawn by a child, and it might even be that child's family. But even if that isn't the case, let me ask a question. What exactly is wrong with a group of people being represented that all have similar ancestry, shall we say? What exactly is wrong with that? Or is it just because they all happen to be white? Because I really wonder if they would have the same amount of problem with a picture such as that if they all had a different ancestral background. I wonder, would they find it so easily offensive then? Or are some just looking for easy ways to be offended?
Women do not leave good men.
Well, yeah, that's not true.
So if you start seeing someone and their story to you is that their last partner left them, please know the reason is they are not a good man.
Right, because no woman in history has ever left a good man for some petty little reason, like he doesn't make enough money, or that he did something to give her the ick. Of course, no woman could ever be that selfish or immature.
Because let's be honest, as women, we're always willing to try to work on the relationship.
Quite obviously, they haven't met all women now, have they?
While men, on the other hand, are by nature selfish and
Oh, all men are selfish, are they? Oh dear.
will always do what is best for them, regardless, point blank.
Yeah, because women never do that.
Most women will lose themselves in the relationship and therefore try to work on it because it's more of like an investment to us. But men don't give a They are more likely to stay if they spend a lot of money on you because that kind of hurts their wallet.
I really enjoy watching someone demonstrate that they really don't know what they're talking about.
But if they're not being fulfilled in any type of way, whether it's emotional or physical, they will go elsewhere.
I wonder how they'll take the news that some women do the very same things for the very same reasons and actually use that as a justification for cheating.
This is just how men operate.
Well, at least they said that with confidence, if not accuracy.
Men are all the same. There are a few good ones, but in 2025, good luck finding one.
Can we say that about women too, or would that be called sexist?
I'm sorry, when has dating ever been free?
Well, if a person wants to get technical about it, since the beginning of time, because a person can go out on a date with another person and no money has to actually be spent. I know that's a hard concept for some to grasp.
Are they acting like we're trying to gold dig for a piece of chicken?
Well, because some women won't even go out on a date with a guy unless they're going to a 5-star restaurant.
Women have had bank accounts for like 5 minutes.
Oh, we're gonna use that as an excuse to try to get more stuff out of guys on a date? Okay.
The guys actually have it easy.
Believe it or not, there are quite a lot of women out there that genuinely believe that men, simply by virtue of the fact that they are men, have it so much easier in this world than women do. However, I would be willing to bet that there's not a lot of women that would actually say so if they were even willing to, as they say, walk a mile in a man's shoes.
Whenever you're dealing with a man, please keep in mind if they want to play, they have to pay.
There's actually a word for that, and it's not dating.
And if they're low on funds, they can't have no fun.
Let's think about this. What exactly is the term for charging someone for certain activities? I'm sure if we think about it really hard, we can all think of it.
Stop being so nice to them. They are not nice people. They're only being nice so that they can gain access to you and your holes.
Oh, how classy. Almost as classy as charging men for access.
They are the fakest creatures on this earth. They are liars. They are manipulators. It's literally encoded in their DNA.
Encoded in their DNA. Is it now? Just a question. They still teach biology in school, right? Has that turned into a class that individuals don't have to pass to graduate?
And please just keep in mind whenever you're dealing with them that you are in there to get something out of the deal, because I guarantee you they are not leaving empty-handed.
Ever wonder why so many guys choose to remain single? Well, it's because a lot of women actually agree with these types of statements.
And you really have to start to think about how many men would actually want to have fun with you. You have to start to think about if you're actually a fun person to be around. Or are you just... I don't know what you would be. But the way that you're talking, I wouldn't imagine that any man would just be chomping at the bit to get to just to be around you. I don't think modern women really truly know how insufferable they are and how insufferable they can be. Like, they start at the level insufferable and they can go lower. They can go deep down in the depths of you just really don't like me.
The male gender is going extinct.
Well, there goes the species, I guess.
They were impossible not to admire, you know? I mean, they used to go to war. They were providers, protectors. But that was kind of a long time ago.
Has someone been living under a rock? Because a lot of men still do all of those things.
Because now they're posting fit checks and skincare routines. So many traits that were once labeled as feminine are now commonly found in men. So, what happened?
Oh, well, that's easy. Quite frankly, a lot of women got exactly what they asked for when it comes to how some men currently behave. Because there was a belief, and it's still held by some, that masculinity itself was toxic. And unfortunately, that belief came about because some individuals who acted in a traditional masculine manner had some toxic behaviors. Therefore, it made sense, due to a lack of critical thinking skills on the parts of some, that all of masculinity was toxic. So if a person is asking why some men aren't acting in such a masculine manner as they used to, well, it's because women didn't want them to.
You guys come for me, I don't care. I'd rather be a side chick.
Just gets classier and classier.
And I'm about to tell you guys why I'd rather be a side chick, okay? Because you will never see me. You will never see me doing the most for a guy. As far as cleaning, doing his fucking laundry, cooking for him. God forbid I gave this man a kid.
Who's going to tell them that those things aren't requirements for being in a relationship? But if someone would rather be a side piece, well, then by all means.
Eventually, ladies, your man's gonna play you. And eventually, if he gets tired of your ass, he's gonna leave you. That's just the way it works.
I imagine that is the usual experience of a side chick.
So why do you guys think it's a brilliant idea to do the most for these men, especially giving a fucking man kids? Who told you guys this was a brilliant idea?
I think the more important question would be, who actually convinced someone that being a cheating homewrecker was a good idea? I find that to be the more serious and pertinent question.
You guys are dumb. I'm here to tell you, you guys are dumb.
Was that the voice of experience speaking?
So I'm here to tell you, ladies, it's much better to be a side chick. 100%. And I will keep saying that.
Right. I can't really take the advice of someone seriously who obviously has no respect for not only the person they're in a relationship with, but more importantly, themselves.
The next man that enters my life, he is required to take me out on 3 dates before he gets a sleepover and before he gets my clothes off.
That's it? Just 3 dates, huh? That's all that it takes? And just imagine, there are some women out there that don't even wait that long before giving out sleepovers and taking off their clothes. It's no small wonder that some of these women are wondering why those men don't stick around.
Okay, I'm being so for real right now because here's the thing. As soon as you spend the night with a man, not even doing anything, they stop asking you out on dates.
Gee, I wonder why.
Then, once you sleep with them, they don't want anything to do with you anymore, which, like, whatever. I'm tired of men sexualizing me and objectifying me.
And who allowed that to happen?
Yeah, I've made it very easy for them to do that in the past, but, like, I'm done. I'm seriously done. Like, hookup culture is fun for, like, 5 minutes. I miss connection. I miss being feelings. I miss being yearned for. I miss yearning.
Then, might I recommend raising someone's standards to having it take more than just 3 dates?
I can't just keep getting obsessed with a man for a week or two and then moving on to the next one. It's too exhausting and it's honestly, like, mentally draining.
And does anyone know whose fault that is? Take a wild guess.
What happened to romance? I want romance!
Women who complain about that really only have one person to blame, and it's not the guy, because who can blame them for losing interest in someone who gives it up so easily?
Anyways, celibacy era is going great so far. So good.
It probably will, because there are some things that don't hold much value if it's given away so freely.
Do any other girls get offended when, like, ugly men try to approach you? I'm saying that with my full chest.
No. What a truly odd thing to be offended by. Just imagine being upset because someone found you attractive and actually had the confidence to approach you. I wonder how they deal with it every day. It must be awful. But if we've ever needed proof, shall we say, that there are lots of individuals out there that are very easily offended by the littlest and, might I say, the silliest of things, I think we've just seen it. Because most individuals do understand that attractiveness is subjective, and a person is never going to know if they themselves are up to another person's level unless they actually try. Because not every person finds the same things attractive in everyone else. Essentially, a person is going to miss 100% of the shots that they don't actually bother to take. So, there's no harm in trying, is there?
I think airplanes should change their policy to let women board first, ladies first, and then have men board after.
It's funny how so many women say that they want equality. That is, until the very moment that it doesn't benefit them somehow. And then their true colors come out, and it's really the case that they want more rights and more privileges than men.
And there's no group 1, group 2, group 6, or whatever. It's just ladies first, ladies get on board, they get settled, and then the men. I think that would be super classy.
That's not what I would call super classy. That is actually what I would call super sexist, and actually is an excellent example of what I'm talking about. Because individuals that are for this type of idea are rather implying that women are just simply not able to get settled in as quickly as men, or that women deserve special privileges simply for being women. So why do some women say that they want equality and then act like they want to be treated as better than men? You really can't have it both ways, although some certainly do try.
I'm so sick and fed up of men using the argument, it's not all men, it's not all men. So I'm going to draw this out for you.
Oh, good. A visual aid.
So at the bottom, we have the worst of the worst. We have rapists, pedophiles, murderers, you're in jail, you're a horrible person. We can all unanimously agree as a society these are very, 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 very bad people. Okay, that's bottom of the bottom. And then we have a little scale. And then at the top here, we have men who speak up for women, men who advocate for women, men who protect women, and men who confront all of the other men. That's where you're missing me.
So what they're saying, in order for a man to be considered in that top tier of men, they need to fall into all of those categories of speaking up for women, defending women, and condemning the actions of those bad men. But women have been telling men for years to leave them alone, to stay out of their business, not to speak for them, and that they don't need them. So what are men supposed to do, and who are they supposed to listen to?
I'm not saying it's a 50-50 scale of good and bad. I'm saying that this is a slow blended gradient between good and bad. And no matter where you fall on here, if you're not here, I don't like you.
Now they go on for another couple of minutes, explaining how, indeed, most men are considered to be bad unless they fall into that top category. So essentially, if you're not the best, then you're the worst. It's really unfortunate that at this point in time, there are individuals that still try to justify their despising an entire group of people based on the actions of some. It's almost like there's a word for that.
Women are the reason for 60% of divorces, and honestly, I believe it.
It's very true. Most divorces are, in fact, initiated by women.
Because men will ignore you for years and then act confused when you finally leave. Like, don't play dumb. She didn't wake up and decide she was done. She told you 1,000 times what was wrong, and you brush it off every single time.
Now, I understand that this post is supposed to be about how men are the problem in marriages, but a lot of individuals like to conveniently leave out the fact, and yes, it is a fact, that women married to women actually have the highest divorce rates of all. So is it really men that are the problem?
One thing about women, we'll stay until the very last straw. We'll explain it, we'll cry about it, we'll try to fix it, and you still sit there acting clueless.
Well, if that was actually true, then women married to women would actually have the longest lasting relationships, wouldn't they?
When she finally files, suddenly, it's, where did it come from? It came from you not listening. That's why most women file for divorces.
Okay, sure. But in my opinion, a lot of women, not all, file for divorce because they simply aren't happy. And there's a lot of women that would rather just get divorced than work on the problem.
I just had 5 grown-ass men walk by, grown-ass, able-bodied men, walk by as I struggle to carry all of my, and help this poor mother with 3 children carry her stroller down the stairs.
Well, contrary to what was written across that screen, I don't believe that there's anything at all wrong with most men. In fact, especially if a person pays attention to what some women post on social media, those gentlemen were doing exactly what a lot of those women have been asking men to do. Leave them alone. Don't approach them, and certainly don't talk to them. So why exactly would they be inclined to help some woman that they don't know, not knowing how exactly she's going to react to having those men approach her?
They just looked and kept walking. I'm literally dropping my umbrella and everything. They just keep on walking.
And I cannot blame them for that, because they had no way of knowing how a strange woman would react to being approached by a strange man. Honestly, it's best that they just played it safe and kept their distance. But a lot of women really want to be treated as equals until they're treated the same way that a lot of men are.
And they say women are more likely to help other women out. And it's unfortunate because I feel like you have situations where something's happening and everybody's just kind of standing around like maybe they can't believe it and maybe they can't understand it, or they're just kind of frozen. And I think in those situations, they say you physically have to point somebody out and tell them, hey, call 911, like not call the police or like somebody help, somebody call the police. You physically have to point somebody at, hey, you call 911. That's for everybody. I don't know where maybe that's not true. But the point is, y'all have gotten so far down the road in telling men, don't do this, don't do that men just keep on walking by. And you physically now have to grab a man and say, hey, help me. So the man knows, oh, you do actually want my help. Hey, come and approach me. You. Oh, you do actually want me to approach. Well, yeah, what else would I want? Oh, I don't know. Because women have said they don't want me to approach. Women have said, I don't need your protection. I don't need your help. You don't do anything for me. Your protection is not worth whatever. I don't want a relationship with you. And so a man just keeps on walking. I see what's going on. I'm registering what's going on. But you told me not to do something. So I just become a bystander. Man, shoot, that sucks. Hey, can you help me? Sir, can you please help me? That's what y'all are going to have to start doing. Y'all, the fact that y'all are out here suing people, a man helps you and then you report him to HR and you're thinking that he's going to help you the next time is a crazy thought.